Welcome back. Our short story today is called This Moose Belongs to Me by Oliver Jeffers. Let's dive in. Here we go. Wilfred owned a moose. He hadn't always owned a moose. The moose came to him a while ago, and he knew, just knew, that it was meant to be his. He thought he would call him Marcel. Putting a little name tag on him, it says Marcel. He began following Marcel, explaining the rules of how to be a good pet. Much of the time, it seemed as though the moose wasn't listening, but Wilfred knew he was, mostly because he followed Rule 4 very well, not making too much noise while Wilfred plays his record collection. Sometimes the moose wasn't a very good pet. He generally ignored Rule 7, going whichever way Wilfred wants to go. The moose had a very good sense of direction, and Wilfred did not, and because the moose was particularly poor on Rule 7, Subject B, maintaining a certain proximity to home, Wilfred quickly learned to bring some string along on their outings, so he could find his way back again. So there he is, laying the string down as they go on their adventure. Sometimes the moose was an excellent pet. He had no trouble with Rule 11, providing shelter from the rain. Or Rule 16, knocking down things that are out of Wilfred's reach. He's getting the apples out of the tree, and Wilfred says, "Good work." One day, as Wilfred discussed their plans for the coming year on a particularly long walk, he had a terrible discovery. Look at his plans. So these are his thoughts. He's planning to ride in a barrel, and it looks like down a waterfall. That seems like an interesting plan. And you can see he's still bringing his string along. He's got his little string that he's placing along. Let's see what his terrible discovery is. Someone else thought she owned the moose. This woman says, "Rodrigo, you're back." Wilfred was dumbstruck. This moose was Marcel, not Rodrigo. The old lady was mistaken, and Wilfred thought it only proper that he correct her. "This moose belongs to me," he explained. Uh-oh. And to prove it, he called Marcel. But the moose did not respond. He seemed more interested in the old lady. Why is he more interested in the old lady? She says, "Good, Rodrigo." Fine. Embarrassed and enraged, Wilfred rushed off for home. But in his haste and miles from anywhere, he tripped over his string and got tangled up. Oh no! Poor Wilfred. And there he lay. Wilfred was beginning to get a little bit worried. It was getting late, and the monsters would be out soon. He had just ruled out the last of his options. Let's see what he was thinking about. Penguin that he scribbled out. He thought about a saw. Scribbled that one out too. A bear with an axe. Nope. Not a hammer. Not a hammerhead shark. Not lightning. Oh, I see. This one is a picture of the hammerhead shark helping him out of the string. And the shark says, no problem. He says, thanks. So he had just ruled out the last of his options when along came the moose. And performed Rule 73 brilliantly, rescuing your owner from perilous situations. What is the moose trying to get to? An apple. Well, when he was doing that, his antler picked up Wilfred. All was forgiven, and perhaps Wilfred admitted he'd never really owned the moose anyway. His name tag came off, the Marcel name tag, because Wilfred realized that he never really owned the moose anyway. With that in mind, he and the moose reached a compromise. The moose would agree to all of Wilfred's rules, whenever it suited him. So Marcel only needs to follow Wilfred's rules when it suits him. Dominic, you're back! And you brought me an apple. Another person who thinks that the moose belongs to them. The end. That was a really cute story. I hope you liked it. I'll see you next time.